preview time, Daggy and Beaver. With you, the carnival's well and truly over, Beaver. It is winter racing in Sydney and Melbourne, that's for sure. We'll still a few winners there, so we're going to plough through and have a look at that, as well as maybe touch on a couple of features elsewhere. And as we get into the proper Queensland Carnival, we'll switch and preview some of those good, better meetings throughout winter. What's going on, Beaver?
Yeah, look, the fields have started to drop off a little bit, but still some winners in there. I guess that time of year where you start to see a few little blowouts. It's just finding the right one. But the carnivals in Queensland start to pick up, and Adelaide, so lot to look forward to there, as well as trying to find a few and pick the eyes out of Sydney and Melbourne.
Yes. We've got, we'll kick off at Rosehill where the rail is in the true. Beautiful day today. It's going to be a good track. I'm hearing the term rain bomb thrown around, so we'll keep an eye out on the rain apparently arriving in the afternoon and where that all heads. Apparently 40 mil, up to 40 mil predicted, but hopefully that arrives in the later half of the card. So we'll watch all that, but I've treated it as good for now. We kick off with the 2-year-olds over the 1,100 metres. Plenty of debutants. Has any of them caught your eye?
Look, pretty hard to line up. I'm going to go with Sovereign Fund resuming. Its form last preparation was pretty good, and gets J Mac aboard. It's drawn well in gate 3, enough to suggest by its trials that it was forward enough to run well here.
Beautiful. I am just going to turn the video
Recording
on.
in progress.
That helps as well. Audio's intact, so welcome aboard everyone watching via YouTube as well. I like the trials of, I'm sort of against Sovereign Fund a bit here, pushed out in the trial. I like the trials of a couple of first starters. Armed Forces hit the line pretty well in both trials here. Admittedly, Snatch O'Reilly, who he trialled against, went to the races and didn't do very much. And Ravenclaw, who just towed along behind Sovereign Fund and looked pretty good under no riding, hitting the line there. Both at a reasonable price. Let me just check this. You'll be both around the $8 or $9 mark, giving them a bit of a chance. And Dipsy Doodle's up and going and is already a city winner. So next best for me as a market suggests, but maybe time for some fresh blood in this 2-year-old ranks now. Race 2, the Class 3 highway over 1,400 metres, where King of Spades came to town last time and won well fresh in a similar sort of race, actually. I think you can do similar here at about $16. Zach Lloyd jumping on. I think it's only that price because of the outside gate, but can probably posse up and get a decent enough run here. From Liz Tamana, who's going well enough. I don't spend heaps of times on these highways, as you know, but they're the two I'm giving the top picks to at the price. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, look, I've gone for Bianco Villano. Bit worried about the 63.5. That is a big weight, but if I go through its recent form, it's been pretty good, and there was a lot to like about last run. It finished off very nicely, and then prior to that, its form down at Albury and Wodonga showed that it's got a good turn of foot there. Just wondering, giving 5 and 6 kilos to some of this, if that's a little bit too much. I did think, and I know you're going to sound the sirens, but I think the Masara horse, Just For, bit concerned about the gate, but it was a really good win last start. It finished off that race nicely, and I think this horse is not the worst in this race. Runs well in this. Just the gate, it's a bit of a concern, but with any scratchings, which is probably comes in 1 or so there, if you can get in and get a decent run, it can finish down the middle.
Beautiful. The third is benchmark 72 Midway. Who do you like in this one?
I'm pretty keen on Raffle. I liked it first up, and I wasn't disappointed in the run. The Warwick Farm Straight didn't suit, and it got a little bit out of its ground there over the 1,400. But I thought it hit the line really nicely here. Gets the claim, so it's only carrying 55, and gets the extra 100 metres here. It'll be further improved. Just hopefully it doesn't get too far and doesn't set itself too big a task, but I think gate 12 suits and it can run really well.
Yeah, I started, I guess, similar to you. I threw all the Mayrose lead-up form in the bin and went elsewhere. So, obviously, Rathville, you've covered off. And the 2 at a price, Crystal Waters coming off a couple of wins in form there. And Decadent Tale, who's coming off a fairly nice win at Newcastle. So both drawn to swoop if you're looking for anything away from the favourite. But I do think, as you said, Wrathful very hard to beat, finishing off well behind a decent enough horse. Oh, flying horse, in fact, in Coupling. Looks pretty good to me as well. 1200 metre benchmark 72. It is a story of the rest of the day. We've got these benchmark races and they're all big fields, tricky to line up fresh horses, plenty going on, so you're looking for value. I in this one though, I've ended up with the favourite on top. That all being said, but at a reasonable price, Flag of Honour. Spent all its career in some pretty good races. Coming back from Group Company now to take on some winter horses. Off and back of a couple of nice trials, won the latest pretty comfortably, and I think runs well here. Gets JMac just for good measure. And then I went looking for the Warwick Farm lead up away from that, which left me with Lavish Empire and So Good, So Cool. Both in the race here. They coming through the Metro form behind Exelatus. I think that lines up okay for this. If even luck, I think you probably cover all three there. Is Valencia coming up here or staying in Melbourne, have you heard?
Don't know at this stage. I think it'll probably stay in Melbourne, but only guessing.
Yeah, I'd treated it similarly. What are you thinking?
Mate, I've gone for Contemporary. I thought there was a lot to like about the first up run, and if you go back prior to the spell, its maiden win was very good at Randwick over the 1100, beat Ramones and beat it quite easily, beat it by over 3 lengths. First up again, got back out of the ground at Warwick Farm and made up really good ground there on the heavy track. I think he can run really well here. Drawn gate 7 gets the claim of Zach Lloyd, gets in at 54.5. Could run well.
Yeah, fair call. Absolutely. Race 5, benchmark 88, 1200 metres. Democracy Manifest has chosen to go to the tougher race later, perhaps against its better chances, but we'll get to that. So what are you thinking in this one, though?
Yeah, tricky little race. I've gone for Vowmaster resuming here. I think it's a course with a bit of potential. Went well at its couple of trials, and then when it was last in work, they took it up to Gold Coast in January and ran really, really well there, and had some good runs back in Sydney behind the likes of Dehorned Unicorn. I think that sort of lines up well here. I was a bit disappointed with Kips Bay last start.
Yes.
First up was outstanding, and then I didn't know what to make of that run. I'm not sure why they didn't try and lead on it again. It was really never in the race. So it'd be interesting to see what tactics they take here. So I wouldn't rule it out, but I've gone just Vowmaster.
Perhaps reading between the lines, the Waller stable like the chances of Vowmaster, which is why the other horse has gone elsewhere. I'm against my better judgment left with it on top because it does have to do it on race day. It's been nearly 3 years since it's won, but the trials were fantastic this time in. J-Mac's gone on. I think they'll think they've found a reasonable race for it here, down the bottom of the weights as well. Hellfest, next best, might well be best horse, per se, from last week for this. Trials were good, and Zach Lloyd, as you said, the Lloyd Godolphin combination flying. Fox Fighter, I would have been keener on. The Apprentice doesn't really inspire me with confidence, but has come back in pretty good order. And with Karen going on Kips Bay, I just decided to leave it out. I was disappointed last time. Anyway, race 6, benchmark 88, the staying contest on the card, or one of them, 1800 metres. Where I spent a bit of time on this, and I ended up actually just coming back to a couple at a price here. First is Silent Agenda, who is flying, going pretty well at midweeks. Comes to the right sort of Saturday race to hit. Gets to 1800 metres where it's 4 from 5. And yeah, meets a winnable race. Up and going, ahead of some freshies. The lack of pace in this race left me a bit scratching my head, and I thought a horse perhaps like Warning, if with the Apprentice on, I just mentioned Jess Stanley, but if he's given one job here, which is go straight to the front from gate 1, can give you sight at 20s, has done similar, admittedly under Nash and won it in Sydney, so I thought may do similar here, because I couldn't find a great deal of other pace. Maybe Mystery Shot on Navajo Peak leads it up, but that's the way I was looking at it. But quality time can also improve. Just didn't go at all in the wet last time and might start favourite and win this, actually. But what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm going for quality time. For that reason, I think it comes back in grade substantially here against a pretty mediocre field. And those runs, it didn't go in the wet last start, so you can put a line through that. But prior to that, Enlisted Company was a nice run, and an Open Company behind Wunamek. It's got a little bit of ability. They've expected it to run well this time in, and probably, except, the first two runs were pretty good. So I think this gets the right race here, gets the right gate. The 1.5 kilo claim brings it in to a reasonable weight, and I think it can run well.
Excellent. Race 7 kicks off the quaddie, 1,500 metre benchmark 78. Who do you like here?
I'm going to stick with floating. I have tipped it both runs in this time in. I'm going to give it one more go. I think it's got some ability. Again, some of its runs, it's probably set itself just a bit too big a task in some decent races, and it's had big weights. So 56 is probably a better weight here where it can use its turn of foot. Gate 1's slight concern, but that may be okay. Just sneaking some runs through on the rails there. It's a couple of scratchings already, and I expect it runs well with J-Mac on board.
I think the Hawks team will think they've gotten into this race really well with Newlywed. It's getting claiming under the minimum. I don't know what Zach Lloyd rides, actually. I should have checked that. Getting in bottom weight, 52 kilos, with Lloyd on save from the midweeks for this drier track. I think they'll think this is a very winnable race for it, and we're putting its best foot forward here around the $6 mark. On top for me, and a couple of fresh horses here. Podium Queen, last trial was really good for the Waller stable, coming over from New Zealand. And I like Miss Madison. Nice trial since, off an okay resumption from a long spell. So it's next best for me. I've just had enough of floating, so that and Gate 1, I just left it out.
Pretty good race, actually, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it is. As is this next one, as are the next three, actually. 1,300 metre. The form might stack up all right, but to your point, all fresh up could lead there. Some of these internationals might have something up their sleeve heading to Queensland as well. Have all trialled pretty well. The girls' benchmark 78 is up next, over 1,300 metres. A couple of easy bets for me to have, actually. The first is Lekvarte, who was flying last prep. Freshen up, skip the carnival, nice trial to tick over. And there's a real line chaser here. I think around the 12 or 13 buck mark is a nice play. And I think that the penny has dropped for Air to Air, who has gone to the Waterhouse team. Didn't miss the start, run well, sat wide, and won pretty comfortably at midweeks. Comes to town. I think it's a different horse to what we've seen in previous preps. So both around a double figure mark. I'm going to have something on them. From shorts who will get control and slightly back in grade and distance probably suits. Yeah, that's it for me. Good race again. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I like shorts back in grade here. I had to do a lot of work at Randwick and led, and really wasn't a leader's type track at Randwick there, and Sprangler could just, bless me. Could just sit and go straight past it. I thought on a drier track there, it would have probably been super hard to beat. Gets a better track here as long as the conditions stay okay. Gets in now with a 1.5 kilo claim. Gate 1 might be able to control this or get the right sit and be too good.
Benchmark 100 on the card over 1,400 metres is where Democracy Manifest has lobbed. Are you with it?
100%. It was dominant first up, and I expect some further improvement here. This is probably an easier race if you ask me. And I just liked everything about its run there. It just sat on the fence, no panic, and exploded away. Could have won easier. Yeah, Marrera's had to ride on it now, and Gate 7's perfect. Can go sit wherever it wants.
Beautiful. I was wishing it was going into the race earlier, so I could back both of these, but I have Coal Crusher on top. I think it gets a cosy lead. I think there's no other pace here. I like Brad Rawiller going on. First time we've seen him in town for a bit. And Just gets complete control. Was only nabbed late by Villano. You would lap these. And you're getting an each-way price to find out about the $5 or $6 mark there. On top for me now, obviously terrified of Democracy Manifest. We'll probably try and cover it. I think they're the only two hopes. Nothing else here interested me in the slightest. So sticking solid with it. We'll cover those two in the quaddie. We got the boys' version of the benchmark 78 1300 metres to wrap us up. And I'm going to stick with Excellatus. We'll see some of the form, how well that stacks up earlier on in the day. On top for me here, and what price is it? Yeah, around the $5 mark. Looks good to me. From Capo Strata, who might get control here. Might get an easier time up front than what it's had. Depends what Huesca wants to do, but it didn't want to lead last time. So, and also, I think it might not be a horse. Just sort of plot up the straight there. So Capistrata and Excellatus, the main two for me. I'll think about Starman, who second up might be better for that run. What are you doing here?
Awful race.
Yeah.
Wasn't keen on it at all, and hopefully I'm in front by the time I get to here. I had Excellatus as well. Thought it could run well. This is a pretty open race. Winning form could be good form for a race like this, and it's won its last two. Any natural improvement after that first up run, and it can figure quite highly in this race. So Excellatus on top.
Lovely. Let's get to the Randwick Quaddie. First leg, I'm going to go 1 Podium Queen, 2 Coyote, 8 Floating, 9 Man Behind the Money, 10 Miss Madison, 11 Money from the Sky, and 14 Newlywed. Second leg, 2 Short Shorts, 7 Lekvarte, 8 Picaronis, 10 Sonora, we didn't mention but will run well, 11 Air to Air. Third leg, 1 Coal Crusher, 7 Democracy Manifest. And last, we'll come home with 3 Excellatus, 8 Starman, 9 Capistrata. You got a best in value for progretracing.com.au.
Yeah, my best is race 9, number 7, Democracy Manifest. And my value bet comes up in race 6, number 3, Quality Time.
I was wishing Democracy Manifest went earlier because Coal Crusher would have just won that race. I'll stick solid. Race 9, number 1, Coal Crusher. Value, race 8, number 7, Lekvarte, around a $12 mark for me. We head down to the Hillside track again, where there's a bit of rain around today, but should stick in the dead range. Rail moves out 3 metres, should be able to make ground there. I've treated it pretty fair, running on down the middle. Perhaps by later in the card. We kick off again with the babies over 1,000 metres. How are you going to start the day down south, Beaver?
Yeah, I like when Stokes brings these first starters over to Melbourne. It's got Nolan aboard, so I'm going to go for Prinzero, number 3. Looks to have a little bit of ability, and I think it can get us off to a nice start.
Beauty. Very much a watch and learn race for me, but I did think Prinzero trialled well, showed nice pace in both. As did Liberami. They're the main two, but we'll know more afterwards, as we tend to when they haven't raced before. The staying race on the card, benchmark 78, 2,400 metres. And I think you can go first because Mr. Blackwood's been scratched. So I've just got to work out who I'm going to tip here. You go.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Sing for Peace from the Paddy Payne stable. Showed it was a true stayer last start over the 3,000 at Sandown. And that was a pretty good run, just kept grinding away. So we know it'll run well, might be a little bit sharper over the 2,400, has some ability on the way up. Number 2 for me.
Yeah, not a particularly entertaining race, to be honest now. Yeah, probably me too. 2 from 4 for me. The third leg is a 1,300 metre benchmark 70, where we saw a lot of these clash through the last time. Again, there's nothing I really want to stamp here. I'm going to give a chance, though, to Charming Die, now second up, around $16 mark. Was on the heels of those in the finish last time out. Better for the run, up in trip. I think both look pretty good. A bit of a claim for Heffel, who is flying. I'll put it on top from Holy Lolly and Clarity. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, I'm going number 10, Aquilero,
Okay,
from the Busted Young stable. I liked its first up win at Pakenham. Thought it showed a ton of courage there to keep grinding away to win that. And I think the horse that ran seconds got a little bit of ability as well. So good way to break through its maiden, was fancied in that. And I think it can bring that form to this and account for itself.
Beautiful. 1400 metre for the 3-year-old is up next. We're in a race where the pace looks a little bit muddling. I'm going to stick with Aiming here. I thought both runs have been good. I think it gets control. I don't think there's any other leader in this race. Again, the claim for Carleen. Will cross from the outside gate and should give you a sight with the rest of these all sort of attached to each other. I went looking for Castilian, who I really wanted to find out to a more suitable distance. Perhaps a bit disappointed both runs this time. So went around that. And Toronto Terrier just doesn't run a bad race. Was brave again last time out and a rightful favourite. What are you thinking?
No, I'm going for Toronto Terrier. I tipped it last start. Got beat by a fairly good horse, and I think that was a fairly solid effort in that. I think gate 7 here with the 54 kilos. I think it can run extremely well and gets its chance to break through here.
We've got a couple of races brought over from Anzac Day, the first of which is a 1400 metre listed Anzac Day Stakes for the 2-year-olds. Good little race. What are you thinking this way?
Yeah, look, quite an interesting race here of chances. I've gone for Legacies, basically due to the Moody Nolan combination. First up was pretty good at Cranbourne, was well fancied. I think it's a genuine improver here, and that combination's hard to beat in these types of races.
I'm fairly keen on the chances of Kill the Krug here. I thought that was arrogant, its last win. It was held up, had to cross heels, get out, and still won hard held. May not say much for the horses it beat, but 1400 metres looks like it's suited. I like the $7, and I'm going to back it each way. Really keen, actually. From Legacies, who might have plenty of upside. Is second up for the Moody stable. He doesn't miss too often when he brings these horses to these sort of races. 1,000 metre race for the 3-year-olds. Got plenty of 2 and 3-year-old racing throughout this card. And another one I'm pretty keen on, as the market suggests, is Katsu. That was a great resumption off great trials, off doing some great stuff last preparation. I think there's plenty of upside here. I like the run it's going to get. Can just chime in when it wants to. And I'll take the even money. Main danger for Suto, who you did fine last time out and did win well. So have to respect it. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, same. Katsu for me. Flew first up. That was a great run. No reason why it won't repeat that, and hard to beat.
What have we got next? We've got another 1,000 metre race, this time for the benchmark 84s. Who do you like here, Beaver?
Yeah, interesting race. I'm sticking with Foxycon. It's a horse that I've been following and I'll continue to follow here. Sat off the pace last start and just kept grinding away to win on the line. Gate 2 again here, 2 kilo claim, 53.5. I think it gets a similar run just behind the pace. Hopefully it opens up and it's cruises through.
Absolutely, yeah. When I did the race on Monday for the Tuesday show, I had snapped on top, but the fresh blood here has caught my eye. I've got Foxconn on top as well. Tipping another good day for Carleen Heffel, but everything you said, just gets a right run, gets last shot, will be very hard to beat. Bluestone's the best 20s chance all day, going really well before getting stuck out on a limb at Moonee Valley. A better run here, a swooping track to suit here will give you a great sight at the price. And Do You Punk, Moody might well train the Cornella here. I've gone right away around that other lead-up race. So I'm with you in terms of that. We've got the St. Ledger 3,000 metres listed race up next, where I wanted to get rid of the St. Ledger trial form, the Midnight Go race, but I was left with pretty much nothing else. So a couple here I might have a spec on. First is Winning Bed, who's got winning bid, right connections, different lead up. Did Tewksbury win yesterday? I think I saw you tipped it.
A scratch.
Okay. It was in Tewksbury had gone somewhere else, but Right connections to come to a race like this. Bus and Young team going quite well out to the 3,000 should suit. And Pulverizer, who's had the 2,400 metre run, I think he's the only one who has, and gets a nice, will stay. Might give you a side at 30s. As I said, the lead up felt icky to me, but at the end of the day, there's not much else here. What do you think?
Yeah, look, pretty awful affair actually. Very hard to get a line on. I went for Winning Bid, just went away from some of the other form as well. Ran second behind Tewkesbury yesterday, the last start. Its form has been ultra consistent. This isn't a strong affair, I guess. It's hard to find something that really stands out. So I thought it was just had different form around some different horses where the other ones had continued to race each other and had only plotted. So Winning Bid on top for me.
The listed anniversary Vase 1,400 metres is up next. Can anyone turn the tables on Cardinal Gem?
I don't think so. Cardinal Gem was outstanding last start. I was super keen and it franked my opinion. I think obviously up a little bit in weights here, goes up 6 kilos on that win, but that was Group 3 company. Back to listed here, but Gate 1, I think that probably means it can get whatever run it likes here. Still some good horses in this, but some of these horses haven't shown their best form for some time. When you look at the likes of Bermudez and Buffalo River, Cherry Tortini resuming is a knockout chance, and Mega Mia always runs well, but Cardinal Gem on top for me.
Yeah, I can't see anyone from that last race turning the tables here as long as it gets even luck, which they tend to at Hillside. I think it wins again. If you're looking for dangers, Cherry Tortoni, as you said, any sting out of the ground, its advantage trials were good. Might be best horse in the race. And, the different form on Mega Mia coming here will run well. Pretty simple race for me to do, actually. The last is a benchmark 78, and we get to see two exciting chances here. I think the market's in the right order. Carolee Rocks, first time over from Perth, was very impressive last time and hit line beautifully. On top for me from Party of One, who was heavily backed last time and just given absolutely no chance there. A bit more luck here will be in the finish again. And I think the Circle of Magic is the only pace here. Around $13. It is one for your trifectas, will lead and may well hold on and run a place. What are you thinking?
Yeah, tricky little affair, isn't it? Carolee Rocks with the Gate 14 and the 58.5 versus Party for One. You were right. Party for One, I think, was a good run last start.
Yeah.
Wasn't given the best chance and still managed to finish within half a length of Foxycon. I think that'll be a good guide. I've got it on top, Party for One to beat Carolee Rocks, just due to the slight weight pull and the better draw.
Have you got a quaddie for us?
Have I ever?
Yay.
My quaddie numbers are first leg, starting in race 7. I am going number 4, Distillate. Number 3, Do Your Punk. Number 6, Foxycon. Number 8, Bluestone Lane. And number 10, Snapped. In the next leg, I'm going number 1, Midnight Glow. Number 3, Highland Hill. Number 4, Kentucky Nick. Number 8, Musgrave. And number 12, Winning Bid. In the third leg, I'm going number 1, Cardinal Gem. Number 2, Cherry Tortoni. Going skinny there. And then to finish off, I'm going number 6, Carolee Rocks. Number 8, Party for One. And number 12, Circle of Magic.
Excellent. Best in value, we might be in lock here.
Race 9, number 1, Cardinal Gem is my best bet of the day. And my value bet is, I'm just trying to find what I had. That was a bit earlier. Race 3, number 10, Aquilero.
Race 9, number 1, Cardinal Gem is my best. And race 5, number 1, Chill the Krug, my value, who I did give good thought to actually making my best. I think it does run well here. We've got black type racing from 2 other states. Do you want to, what do you like in Queensland? Have you had a look there?
Yeah, I've had a look at Queensland. Pretty keen on race 3, number 3, King Kappa.
Yep.
I think it can resume and win. In race 4, number 10, 1 start, 1 win, App and Girl. I think he can make it 2 from 2. And then when we get down to later in the day, I think race 7, number 6, Antino. I think that'll be winning. And I certainly think race 8, number 1, Private Eye. I think it wins as well.
I was on Rothfire for a lot last time. Don't know why I had to tell you that. Anyway, Morpheville, we've got the Australasian Oaks over there where Arts heads. Am I that keen on it? Not really. Interesting race. I might have something in that race. Race 9, number 4, as time goes by. Around our $13. I do think Heuristic will win though. Race 5, number 1 in the Breeders' Stakes at Morpheville. Very impressive last time, bringing the Sydney form to Adelaide. I think it wins again under Todd Pannell. Anything else around Australia?
Nothing else for me, mate.
Beauty. Good job. Thank you. Good punting tomorrow, guys. Enjoy the weather today. Apparently it's about to rain in Sydney tomorrow, but we'll be back next Wednesday morning with a midweek preview. It's Warrnambool next week. What are we doing for that? Anything special?
I guess we better do something, mate. Let's have a look. Let's confer and let's get some tips out there for the punters. A couple of shows, maybe.
Yeah, I think we might double down on some shows during next week. All right. Good luck at the Bull. We'll talk before then. Good luck tomorrow. Take care. Bye.